We are working on GMetrix PowerPoint Project Review 3. We're in the final steps portion of this project. The first task wants us to go ahead and insert sections. The first one's going to be before slide 1, so what we'll go ahead and do is slide up to the top. And what I'm going to do is just put my cursor just above and click. Notice that red line there. From here, I can just right click or I can select sections here. I'm going to go ahead and right click and click Add Section. I'm going to go ahead and select that section. And this time I'm going to go ahead and right click again on section and click Rename Section. And it tells us that we need to call this section Houseboat Vacations. Go ahead and click Rename. It tells us that we're going to go ahead and put another one between slide 7 and slide 6. So we'll go ahead and scroll down here. We'll put our cursor just in between those two slides. Notice that red line again. We'll right click, click Add Section. And we'll right click Untitled Section and click Rename Section. And we'll go ahead and type in Optional Equipment. We'll select Rename. And we'll go ahead and check that we completed that task. This task wants us to go ahead and apply a few transitions. It's going to have us apply the flip transition to all of the slides except for 5. And then on the 5th slide, it's going to have us do cube. There are a few ways to do this. Probably the easiest way is to just go ahead and select all of the slides. Once you select one, if you hit Control A on your keyboard, you will select all of them. Notice that there is an orange box around each slide. From here, we'll go to the Transitions tab here at the top. We're in the Transitions to this slide. We'll click the More drop down here, and we're going to go ahead and select Flip. Now that applied it to all of them. It tells us to exclude that on 5. So what we'll do is we'll click off of all of those, and we're going to go ahead and select 5 because we're going to apply the cube. However, if it didn't have us apply the cube, we could have just select none here in this section. It would have removed it for us. But what we want to do is select cube. And so it went ahead and applied cube just to slide 5. We'll go ahead and check that we completed that task. This task wants us to go ahead and remove all invisible on-slide content from this file. To do that, we're going to go to the File tab here at the top. We're going to go to Check for Issues. We'll select Inspect Document. We'll go ahead and click Yes. In this section, we just want to make sure that the invisible on-slide content is checked. We'll go ahead and select Inspect. And then we'll go back to that section. And what we're going to do is remove all for invisible on-slide content. And we can click Close. We'll go ahead and check that we completed that task. This task wants us to create a custom slideshow. To do that, we'll go to the Slideshow tab here at the top. In the Start Slideshow group, we're going to go ahead and click Custom Slideshow. We'll select Custom Shows. We're going to select New. The name's going to be called Intro. It tells us we're going to add slides 1 through 3 and 6. So we'll check all of those boxes and click Add. And it tells us to move the planning immediately after slide 1. So we'll go ahead and select the 4th one and we'll click the up arrow until it's right after Houseboat Vacations. And we'll click OK. And we'll click Close. And we'll check that that task is complete. This task wants us to compress all media in the presentation for internet quality. To do that, we want to go to the File tab here at the top. In the Compress Media group, we want to go ahead and click that. And then what we want to select here is internet quality. For some reason, my system is saying that the file is unsupported. You should be able to get through this. Once you're done, we can hit Close. And we'll check that we completed that task. This task wants us to go ahead and change some of the print settings. So we'll go to the print section here. It tells us that it wants 3 slides per page on the handouts. It tells us to make sure that the frame slides is selected. And it also tells us to scale to fit paper. It also tells us to unselect print comments and ink markup. We'll go ahead and check that that task is completed. This task wants us to go ahead and add some metadata to the document. So we're still in the Backstage view. We're going to go ahead and select Info here. We're in the Property section. We have a subject and title. If you don't see your sections here, what you want to do is select Show All Properties. And now we have those sections. The first thing is the title. We'll type in Houseboat Vacations. And the subject is Vacations. Make sure you capitalize all of the words here that need to be capitalized. And then something that my students tend to want to do is hit a space bar after typing in a word, and then they get marked wrong. So make sure you're typing in just what they want you to type. We'll go ahead and check that we completed this task. This task wants us to go ahead and change some of the save options. The first thing it wants us to do is to have the fonts embedded within the file. To do that, we want to go to the Options tab here at the top. We'll go to the Save section. We'll select Embedded Fonts in the file. And then we want to make sure that it's optimized for editing by other people. So we'll go ahead and select this one, Embedded All Characters. We'll click OK. And then it tells us to go ahead and save this presentation. So we'll go back to the File, Save As. We want to save this in our GMetrix Templates folder, so we'll map there. It tells us to call this file Final Houseboat Vacations. We'll go ahead and click Save. And we'll check that we completed that task.